So the other day, I made a video about Twitter and some of the sweeping changes that were happening after Elon Musk had moved to acquire the platform. And I had some questions about some of the strategies that were being brought up, specifically with Twitter Blue and the idea of getting like a verification badge for an account for just paying $8 per month. A lot of that came down to the ability then to impersonate larger accounts and saying all kinds of wild stuff on the platform. Well, turns out I may have been onto something there, and things have gotten a bit out of control on Twitter. And in fact, it's even having some effects on the real world, which we'll go over all of that here today. So if you guys enjoy this video, make sure you hit that like button. And if you're new to the Spawn Wave Plus channel, make sure you subscribe down below. Let's head over to Video Games Chronicle because they did a good job sort of cataloging a couple of the more high-profile tweets that took place here from impersonated accounts, but there are many, many others. I mean, it got to the point where Pepsi was tweeting out that Coke was better, down to even Game Freak saying some unsavory things about Pokemon, which, by the way, that tweet is still up. It's like 100-some-odd-thousand likes on it because people obviously realize it's a joke, but it doesn't necessarily say parody or anything around it, and I can't imagine the Pokemon company is too thrilled about that one. But we can see, for example, this was the one that really blew up online first. And, well, you can see an image of Mario there saluting the crowd. And, I mean, it says Nintendo of America with the little blue check mark next to it. But if you read the name, obviously, Nintendo Doofus. And I guess they picked up the account. They then paid the $8, made sure their name was Nintendo of America. And at a glance, yeah, it looks like Nintendo decided to post up a different side of Mario there. That did get pulled down after, I think it was 2 or 3 hours, but at that point, the rush was on, and we started seeing a bunch of accounts pop up. This one was pretty funny. I had brought this up in Newswave because this one legitimately did fake some people out. Some people I know actually sent that to me, and they were like, look at this from Valve. They're calling them out. Not necessarily. It was Valve Software. They moved the T and F around where it's supposed to be Valve Software, and they announced different games, platforms, and they even said, oh, look, that it's a problem with the verification badge after they, of course, did all of that, just kind of prove a point. And it went even on to like Twitch with a Twitch parody is what they have there. That was supposed to be the idea, is you have to put parody in your name if you want to be a parody account. But even so, if you have larger brands on the platform that may be trying to communicate with their customer base or whoever, this looks a little too close to the official account, especially when you have a little badge next to it. But they said, we've heard you. After a lot of feedback from ambassadors and partners, the sub-split will be changing from December. And they go over a bunch of splits that are not at all accurate. And from there, I mean, the list just goes on with different politicians being impersonated. And even this one is something that I would have been a bit more concerned about because it comes back to what I've talked about on YouTube when it comes to the Telegram stuff where accounts will impersonate the main account on that video. And like I said, you guys see it all the time in the comments where they're like, oh, you want a PlayStation 5, contact me through this Telegram channel. And who knows what happens from there. I assume they try to scam you out of like $50 to $100, and in the worst case, maybe your identity or something. But in this case, someone decided to impersonate Twitter, like the entire platform itself. And the idea was to give Twitter Blue for free, which then means you would get the check mark that has gone into this weird, like, highly coveted state when it was originally not even designed for that. And some of that has to do with the very arrogant people who had the check mark, but there are others who just don't even care. They just want to be at least verified to where stuff like this wouldn't be happening. But the Twitter impersonated account mentions crypto NFT holders can now get Twitter Blue for free by authenticating their wallet assets. They then drop a URL, and then they said there might be a little surprise, like a bird NFT. Oh boy. But that was enough to get over 35,000 retweets and almost 5,000 likes. And that means the impressions for this were through the roof, which means the click-through rate, even at a very small percentage of like 1 or 2%, would have been thousands and thousands of people that would have hit that website and probably been scammed in some way. But this was the one that really caught people's attention because it actually had an effect on the real world, and it had quite a large effect when it comes to finances and money. This was posted up here where a fake account tweeted that Eli Lilly and co. was giving insulin away for free. Of course, it was verified on Twitter, the impersonated account, and their stock fell 5% or roughly $20 billion in value from that tweet. Like they're giving insulin away for free. They're not selling it. So yeah, then you're going to see investors kind of move out. And the fact that it's a verified account, and I mean, we see on Twitter, people may glance at it and say, okay, that's the real deal. They don't even go through to look at the profile or anything. That's enough for them to start selling off of their stocks. Now, after all of this had happened, it turns out maybe selling that $8 check mark, not a great idea because they decided to shut that down. We can see this over on Time. Twitter's relaunched premium service, which grants blue check verification labels to anyone willing to pay $8 a month, was unavailable Friday after the social media platform was flooded by a wave of imposter accounts improved by Twitter. And I just went over, seriously, like a handful of them. There were so many popping up online. I think at one point, Rockstar was giving us an update on Grand Theft Auto 6 even. So the biggest thing here is Elon has made us very aware that the platform loses a lot of money right now. So this was certainly a very short-term push to try to draw any kind of revenue from current users. Well, more so than what we have now for Twitter Blue by just selling the check mark. But that check mark, seems to work to improve confidence with brands, which is obviously being shattered at this point. And if the brands don't have confidence in the platform, they're probably not going to be very interested in advertising with the platform, which is how you would draw another source of revenue that, if done correctly and they can figure out how to monetize the platform, might be enough on its own to hold up the entire operation. But even then, it seems like a lot of the stuff that's happening currently, knee-jerk reaction left, right, and center. They got rid of that official badge, and then they brought it back, and they got rid of it, and they brought it back again for brands. So that's basically just another form of the check mark that's not for sale, which once again just eliminates the entire purpose of that original check mark, but then also reinforces the idea of splitting up the users with a check mark. Like I said, it's all over the place right now, and to me, the little PNG checkmark by itself shouldn't be the sole focus of bringing in revenue because obviously it's damaging the platform completely. What I would look to do is come up with other ways to have people dress up their account and do different things. I mean, you could technically gamify the entire platform as we see with free-to-play games. It sounds weird, but you could do different things like animations. That was something that I noticed some companies were able to get, where you click the like button on a tweet that has the certain hashtag in it, and an animation would play. Fireworks maybe come out of the little heart or something like that, right? Different ways to have people personalize their accounts while they are engaging with other users on the platform. It works across the board for a lot of games and even other social media platforms, to the point where you could probably have a cash shop. You could work it into your monthly subscription where they get like a grab bag of different things. There's a lot of stuff you can do there. And it also kind of makes the platform a bit more sticky, I guess would be the word, where people are now really driving towards Twitter. According to Elon Musk, they're at an all-time high for monthly active users, and there are a lot of new eyes coming to the platform. You want to retain those users because everything that's happening right now is, I would say, temporary, because it's in the news currently since he just bought it for $44 billion. Eventually, people get bored and they move on to the next thing. Now is the time to show them why they should be sticking around. But who knows, maybe Twitter just folds in a month or two and everyone just sort of moves on to the next thing. I'm not really sure what else there is outside of Twitter. There have been some alternatives that were posted, but none of them really live up to what Twitter has been able to do when it comes to getting information quickly and, even interacting with different people that you may not be able to otherwise. So it's interesting. We'll see what happens going forward here with this platform, but one thing's for sure, it's certainly not going to be easy going forward, especially if they keep selling verification badges for $8 a month. Thanks, guys, for watching, and I'll see you next time.